is simcha. Okay, so the reason why we're supposed to have simcha is to know Hashem, right? So, but then when the pasuk says that we got punished because right, and we weren't over Hashem with happiness, that doesn't mean. I mean, we learn out from this that we were not commanded to have such simcha that we forget Hashem. It's supposed to be simcha in combination. And you're not supposed to do avodas Hashem from kalas roish. That's not avodas Hashem, right? Yeah, fine. We could stop there. So last week when they had those, when they were trying to recruit, they had that Olami thing with 400 people learning.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that one of the guys asked is are you
Yaakov, you're in a very bad spot.
You get
Yeah, Rabbi Stein, you sound like you're either talking through a synthesizer or an old school Nintendo game.
Aaron, maybe you could save it out from your card. Your card sounds good.
I don't want to step on his toes, but this is a lot of fun.
Right. That's right.
Jesse, I think it's your banana antenna that's not working well.
Harris, you want to call him?
I did. I told him already. I think he just logged off. But.
Am I the only one that doesn't hear him, or everybody else doesn't hear him either?
I don't hear anything over here.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought I parked in a spot that I used to have service in this place, but I guess not. I'll try and get on. Hope nobody misses my hands and face. Anyway.
See, I have just one fast thing about simcha. I learned today. I didn't know that. Maybe that the reason we don't lane Yom Tov afternoon is because of simcha.
Because we don't want to be matriach to Ailonis.
It shouldn't take away from the time to have simcha. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, so you're saying there certainly shouldn't be shiurim Yom Tov afternoon?
Well, that's what it seems like. What he's saying.
I think. He says it. That's. Does he bring the sword?
He brings it down from somebody. Yeah.
What I think, wasn't it always the minig rabbis didn't speak Yom Tov morning at all in the shuls?
I think so.
I think.
Yeah, correct.
Yaakov and
what? They
Ash-
picked only the first day or the second day?
Yaakov and Arshul were knowing that a rabbi should never speak.
That's right. That's a light plug. You want to make sure nobody ever mixes it up, 100%.
Right. That's Rabbi Aaron was
Yeah.
beside that.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. So we're on the bottom line, right? Bottom line of Ayin Tesam base. All right. So Hechi Domi Sris Chama. Remember, we said
You were saying something about me.
I said it over. I guess you missed me out because the guy asked if you take drugs to hallucinate a religious experience, are you allowed to?
Is there a difference between drugs and schnapps? Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, basically that's yeah. So that's what they were asking. So the Orchos Adin was clearly saying not. Right. Anyway. Okay, so let's see. So again, so the bottom of Hetidami Sris Chama. Right? How do you find yeah, you can hear me if for some reason somebody go out, somebody text me please like you did. Yeah? Okay, Hetidami Sris Chama. What is it called again? So it's just Hakatama, just to reacclimate. There's two types of srisim we said in the previous Mishnah. There's a sris that's from naturally from birth, which we said has a potential to get healthy. Then there's a saris or a saris that had an accident, right? So that was a Machlokes Rabbi Akiva and R Eliezer. We'll get back to that later. So the Gemara wants to know how do you know what is a sris chama? Hetidami sris chama, right? Which means that he was from birth. It was a saris. Amar Rav Yitzchak bar Yosef, Amar Rav Yochanan Kol onto the Amar Aleph. Kol shalei ra sha achas bekashrusay means he didn't even see 1 hour of health, meaning he could have been healthy, but he cannot have kids. Rashi says shalaka mimei imay, from the womb, he already has this problem. Mina yadinan. How do you know? How are you supposed to know if he's a saris? So Rabbi kol matal mayim ve'eno is the keeper. If anybody who goes to the bathroom, may ragalayim, who urinates, and it doesn't make an arch, then it's not going to make that means that there's something wrong with the way the urine comes out, and there's something wrong with his whole urinary tract and that whole system, and therefore he can't have kids. Right? So what do you mean it makes an arch? So Rashi says if he aims himself up in the air, and it would make an arch, that's healthy. I guess if it just goes down and it doesn't go up, then it's a problem. Right? So the Gemara says, "Mimai habe." Where does it come from? Which is an interesting question. Where does it come from? Well, why don't you just answer it's Yad Hashem? Hashem wanted it that way. No, it seems like there could have been something that a pregnant woman could have done to herself to cause this, which is what the Gemara answers. Right? They're going to have like Surgeon General warnings on whatever the beer that the woman's okay. Let's first say, and then because you see clearly that we have to be worried that a pregnant woman might do something that can cause something bad to the fetus. Why? So the Gemara says, where does it come from? The afia ime the tiara b'shastia shichra marka. That the mother she bakes afia ime the tiara. She bakes in the middle of the day when it's hot, and b'shastia shichra marka, and then she drinks some sort of beer. Rashi says it's like a mixed beer, right? And that overheats her. Right? So that's what Rashi says. That overheats her, and therefore it causes heat. B'chtera klal is very bad for sperm production. That's what he says.
That's why she should order takeout. No.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, I don't know. This is baking, so but it should go to the bakery, right? But the heat, not medically, heat is very bad for sperm production. Right, that's what I'm saying. They say no computers on the laps and stuff like that. Anyway, so she caused it. So I guess they have to have a Surgeon General's warning on this shikra marka.
Or they like boxer briefs, yeah.
That's not pashut. We're not going to get Naftali Liner started on the tight, what do you call it, pants, the biking shorts. But yeah.
Why is everyone picking on me?
You're the one that bikes. Man, nobody else here bikes, I don't think. Dr. Corman sometimes. Anyways.
Dr. Corman a lot.
Okay, so there you go. Fine. So Amar Rav Yosef handled the Shemana Le'imi. The Amar I used to hear. I'm sorry, not Imi. The Shemana Le'ami. The Amar. This is what I heard Ami saying. Call Shemamei Imay Lokui. Whoever has from the womb, from the mother, has Malchus. Literally means Malchus. But has the problem. V'lo Yadayna my knew. And I didn't know what he was saying. Right? Meaning he didn't know where it came from. So that's. But now he understands that this can cause problems. Fine. Then the Gemara says, how do you know that he didn't become better? Meaning we're saying that a Sris Chama is that he was never healthy. He could never have kids from the womb. Right? How do you know that when he was 3 years old he didn't get better and then he went back and then he had a relapse? How do you know? So the Gemara answers, Kivan, since when later on in life he has the problem. And in the beginning of life, we knew he had the problem. So therefore, like Hashinon, we're not choshid that in the middle he got better. Also, Ramari, Rav Chanina ben Antigonus, Rav Chanina ben Antigonus says, "Baikin oisay shalish pa'amin to say shmeinum yom." This is talking about a bachar that could possibly have a mum in the eye, right? Or to do this, I mean, it doesn't. It can be others, but the one the Gemara is talking about is in the eye. So you have to check it 3 times within 80 days to see if it has a problem. So we see that why are you checking it 3 times in 80 days? Yeah, some obviously it has to be that we're concerned that in the middle it got better, and then maybe it didn't have a mum. You see that you are chayshid in the middle that it got better. So when it answers l'chad aver chashinan, when it's 1 aver, so then we think that it could have gotten better. Right? So it has to be chayshid got better. L'kulei gufa like Hashinon, of the entire body, we are not chayshid. Yeah. Fine.
Why isn't the aver chad aver?
Yes, that was interesting. So it seems like I understood it because since it's in the womb, in utero, and because it got heated up, so it seems like it's a what do you call it? That's considered the whole.
This is just one of the symptoms.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see later that there's a lot of symptoms. There's a Machlokes, right? What the saris is, right? Exactly whether it needs to be all the symptoms or not all the symptoms, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Right. So Rabbi Eliezer, Aimer like he, right? So again, we had a Machlokes, Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Kiva say the exact opposite. Yeah, so according to Rabbi Eliezer, if a Sris Chama is allowed to do chalitza, right, and meaning he's like a regular person, a Sris Adam is there, he can't do it. Right, so Raminu can ask a stira in Rabbi Eliezer Shita. Ben Esrim Shana, the Loyhev Yishtei Saris. That guy's 20 years old and he has not yet hit puberty. He doesn't have 2 saris. Yaviu Raya Shehu Ben Esrim, right? It's to bring a Raya that meaning meaning his brother died. Now he's got to do yibum. So the almana or her family has to bring a raya that he's 20 years old, for who has saris, and he is the saris, right? If they do that, then then he's potter because he's a saris. Bas esrim, let's say she's 20 years old, and she didn't reach puberty. Yaviu raya shehi bas esrim, so we bring a raya that she's already 20 years old. He Ailonis, and that means that she's an Ailonis. So you don't do chalitza to her, you don't do yibum to her. Divrei Beis Hillel, that's Beis Hillel's shita. Right? It's 18 years old, not 20 years old. By Zachor we go like Beis Hillel that it's 20. And by Nekeva, we go like Beis Shammai, that it's 18. Why? Because a woman becomes more mature earlier, faster than a man. The same thing with a bas mitzvah and a bar mitzvah, right? So the women become mature earlier. So therefore, according to R Eliezer, an Ailonis is from 18, and a saris is from 20, right? But you see from this that according to R Eliezer, he's agreeing with the din in the Mishnah, which is that the saris does not do yibum, even if he's a saris chama. So it's a stira. Again, R Eliezer in our Mishnah says that he can do a saris chama from birth, can do chalitza, because we assume that he could potentially get better. And this Mishnah is saying that he can't do chalitza. So which one is it? Amar Rami bar Dikuli, Amar Shmuel Chazar by R Eliezer. R Eliezer changed his mind. So then, an interesting question. He changed his mind which way? Which one did he change? Ivailu, Mai Hadave. Which one did he change from? Right? So Tashema, meaning did he change from this Mishnah here? Right? Or did he change from the Mishnah in Nidda? So, which was the Mishnah Gemara just brought. So Tashema, the Tari of Eliezer, Aimer Saris Chama Chaylet Zachaltin Leishtay, she came to Minan Nisrapain Belachsandria Shom Mitzrayim. A Saris Chama can do chalitza, and they can do chalitza to his wife. Why? Because they found in Alexandria Shom Mitzrayim, they found a way to heal a Saris Chama. So therefore, since there is a potential for this guy to get better, so therefore it's not a problem, and therefore he's allowed to do chalitza. So he changed his mind. And Rabbi Eliezer is saying the way he says it in this Mishnah here. Fine. Rabbi Eliezer, right? He's saying a different teretz to the steer between Rabbi Eliezer, right? Not to be confused. This is Rabbi Eliezer answering up to two Mishnayos that are conflicting from Rabbi Eliezer. He was not chayzer. The chitnan hahi la'einshin, right? And what was he talking about with the 18 and 20? He was talking about when they get punished, right? So it wasn't saying that when they turn 20 he goes like Beis Hillel, and that it can do he could do chalitza. No, he's just saying at 20 years old he's already till then he was considered a katan. Right, till the guy is 20, he didn't reach. Right, in order for somebody to go from a katan and gold, he needs two things. He needs to be 13, and he needs to have shtei saris. If you don't have shtei saris, you're still a katan. But until when? I mean, the saris is always a katan? No. So at age 20, according to Beis Hillel, that's when he becomes a gadol. And Rabbi Eliezer is saying, but a girl becomes a gadol at 18 if she doesn't have shtei saris. So that's all Rabbi Eliezer. That's all Rabbi Eliezer.
So Yaakov.
Yeah.
So the Avos and Imo should not have gotten married?
Why?
Because they were islanders, they were saris, and they didn't have the one medrash we brought down says they didn't have any kalim that a lady has, right?
Well, we learned right last week or 2 weeks ago that they were at least Avram Avinu was tumtum.
So they shouldn't have gotten married to anybody.
No, tumtum can get married.
Uh-huh.
Tumtum can get married, right? I think we're right. Tumtum can get married. Just a cross shafra cannot. I think so.
Yeah, but Sarah, it says when it's an akara.
Yeah, but if she was I think she was a natural akara, no?
Gershon is the one who said the medrash that they did not have wombs, all four of the Emos.
Right.
Wasn't me, it was the Gemara.
I didn't say you made it up.
That's not one of the qualifications, though. You have to be of age and have two sorrows.
No, but did they not have shtei saris? We didn't learn that, right? We didn't learn that.
Well, they did. They didn't. The Gemara said that the Emos were Ailonis.
Right. So.
But that's not a kasha. That's the woman. The kasha is the man. The man can't if he's unable to.
Oh, but either way, Ailonis is allowed to get married as long as they're upfront about it.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Upfront about it, I think so. That's right. Yeah, that's anyway. So then comes an interesting question. So we're saying that from 12 till 20 or 18, whichever sheet that you go with, they're considered a cotton, right? So now they did all these averas when they're 12, when they're 14, 15, 16, 17, right? Now that it's nisgala at age 20, that they were really gadol, right? Because they really were a gadol. The reason why they didn't go stay saris because there's something wrong with them. That means really, retroactively, they were a gadol at bar mitzvah, right? So does it kick back? Does anything they did wrong kick back? So that's going to be the Gemara. It's going to be the next Machlokes in the Gemara. So itmar. Also chaylev, right? If you ate chaylev for whatever reason, the Gemara. Anytime somebody does something wrong, the Gemara loves to pick achel chaylev, right? So if he ate fats, I mean, I would have picked, a little bit more common yisurim, like I don't know, lashon hara. But okay. Itmar achel chaylev mi ben shteyim esrei v'yom echad ad ben shmona.
Wait, there's Malchus for lashon hara?
Some of them, maybe not. Maybe you're saying so.
Right.
Okay, it's nus. I don't know, it's nus. Okay. Yeah. All right. I don't know. So achel chaylev mi ben shteyim esrei v'yom echad ad ben shmona. So let's say he ate chaylev from when he was 12 years old till he was 18. But noldu by simone saris, and then he became a saris at 18. Right? Meaning he didn't have any stay saris. And then this is a chiddush. It's not really part of the din here. It's just a chiddush that even if he grew hair at 18, that hair is considered meaningless because it's just like extra hair, but it has nothing to do with, and he's still considered a saris. Once he hits 18, he's considered a saris according to this, or 20 according to the other opinions. But either way, the main point is not noldu by simone saris. It's just the person gets diagnosed as a saris at 18. Ula'achar mikan hevi shtei saris, right? So he first of all was noiled by simone saris. That's at 18, so he's a saris. After that, he grew hair. Rav Omar nasa saris lemafreya. He becomes a saris lemafreya, and he's going to have to bring a chatas for what he did wrong. Because Lemafreya came out that he really was a gadol at bar mitzvah. Right here, well, we're talking about a girl. That's why it's saying. From Shteyem Esrei. It's interesting that the Gemara is calling it. It's talking about a girl, but it keeps referring to a saris. Really means Ailonis. Right, but whatever it is,
the whole thing is b'lashon zacher.
Yeah. It's strange why the Gemara is doing that, but it's talking about a girl. But the same thing for a boy. But anyway, so the point is that Rabbi.
Wait, isn't it for a boy also? We ben shtei mesrei v'yemechad with shtei saris would be a gadol, no? Misafik.
It's debatable, exactly. It's debatable, right? It could be even 9 according to some things, no?
Yeah.
But anyways, whatever it is. So the bottom line is the Machlokes in Rav and Shmuel, as Rav says, he becomes a saris lemafreya. And therefore he's liable because he was lemafreya at 13 or 12 for the girl. She was a gadol because she doesn't mature because she's a saris or islandess. I mean, he's a saris, so she's a islandess. Shmuel on a katan hayabay. No, when they did the avera, they were considered a katan. Since they were considered a katan, they are not on the hook, even though later on we find out that really they were a gadol. Right? Now. The Taisus brings an interesting kasha. Well, in order to be chayiv on something, you have to have hasra, right? So let's say they were warned. They have to be warned about it. But that's a hasra suffix. That's a doubtful warning. It's not a definite warning, right? Because they don't know if the kid has no hair. He looks like he's 3 years old, and he's 17 years old, and he looks like he's 3. So you can't warn him because maybe he's taka. We don't know. Is he a katan? Is he a gadol? We don't know, right? So then, okay, so that's Taisus kasha. Either way, that's the Machlokes Rav and Shmuel. Whether we say lemafreya, it's a problem. So maskal Rav Yosef l'Rav, Rav Yosef has the kasha l'Rav. Ailonis Rameir yehelo knas, and Ailonis according to the Rameir should have a knas. So this needs a little background. So the din is we're gonna have this in Ksubas, says Hashem. Have this a lot in Ksubas, right? That if a girl gets either raped or coerced to sleep with a guy, so he has to give a knas of 50. So that applies to a narah. Now, a narah is a very small window, like we discussed a while ago, right? You have a katana till they're 12. At 12, if they grow shtei saris, then they become a narah. 12 and a half, they become begeres, they become an adult. According to everybody, once she's an adult, then there's no longer any knas. There's no 50. it's a Machlokes Rameir and the Chachamim whether there's a knas for a katana or not. Right? So Rameir holds it would be a knas for a katana, and the Chachamim holds it's not a knas. So now Ailonis, if you're saying, so according to Rav, that you come a saris l'mafreya, so let's say this girl gets diagnosed as an Ailonis, then in l'mafreya it should be that she was really 12 when she was coerced to sleep with the guy. So then she should have a knas. So an Ailonis should have a knas, right? Because again, if we're saying we have to look at it retroactive, so even though the Ailonis was 15, but retroactively she ended up being an Ailonis, but that means she was a narah from 12 to 12 and a half, right? I mean, we're looking at it like she's a regular girl. Back at once at 18, she gets proved that she's an Ailonis. So then we go back in time and we say, okay, so at 12, she was really a regular narah. And if somebody coerced her when she was 12, that person should have to pay the knas. So that should be Amud, and we know that he doesn't hold that Rameir. So it's a kash on Rav. Amud Abaya. So Abaya said to Rav Yosef, "Mekatnusa yatzis lebaga." No, he's going to hold that she goes straight from being a katana to bageres. She skips the 6-month narah stage. Ailonis goes straight because she's not maturing anyways. That's what I think the pshat is. Since she's not maturing anyways, so then she goes straight from narah to bageres. Right? Amrlei call. I don't understand this line in Gemara. If anybody learned it, I just don't understand the taichet. Amrlei kolki hani mili mal yasa yisamru mishmai. He says yes. That's whatever you're gonna say. Any of these good things, say it over in my name. Right? I understand. He said a chiddush on his own, Abaya, and now Rabbi Yosef is saying that say it over in my name. I mean, he didn't say it. It's not his vart. It's Abaya's vart. Unless we say that Rabbi Yosef forgot his Torah, and then he was assuming that Abaya said it over b'shem Rabbi Yosef. Could that be? Right? Didn't Rabbi Yosef forget his Torah and Abaya?
Yeah, but could it be that Abaya is giving such a Rabbi Yosef is giving such a haskama that Rabbi Yosef is the God Ladoyer? He's saying, Abaya, you're still young, but these things, these kedushim are so good. Say it over in my name; they'll be accepted by everyone.
Think so? Maybe.
I don't know. I'm asking.
Okay, I didn't understand. Say it over. I don't know. He said, imagine a guy comes over to you, comes over to you and says a good vart, and you go to the guy and say, hey, yeah, that's a good vart. Say it over in my name. You say it over your
if it's
name.
a command, yeah. But I would be excited if I said the chiddush to Rosh Hashiva and he says, yeah, you can say that over my name. That's better than in my name.
I would be a little wary, Gershon, to be honest with you, but I guess you're a better man than me. Okay, but I don't know.
Elliot Krish's once said something. I told him over. He said it at a family Shavbrach. He said it over b'shem Rabbaran. And a couple of his cousins came over to him and said, you were by Rabbaran? You saw Rabbaran? He says, no, Aaron Horowitz was from Farakowitz.
That's funny. That's pretty funny. And Eli Krish is by this wedding, by the way, Agav, so I'll tell him that you.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what the pshat is. I think that must be the pshat with Rabbi Yosef getting his Torah. Or Gershon's pshat. Either way. So he's saying to Tanya, because under the B'laisa, ain't a saris nidun keven sarir Moira, right? Ben sarir Moira is a kid who doesn't listen to his parents, right? So a saris cannot become a ben sarir Moira. Not the fisha ain't ben sarir Moira nidun ela b'chasmas zakan hatachtan. He has to have a beard, a lower beard, meaning he has to have a lot of pubic hair, right? So a saris obviously doesn't have that. Bein Ailonis nidanis kenara murasa, and an Ailonis doesn't get judged like a narah murasa. That's a girl that gets engaged. Shemekanusa yatzis lebaga, because she goes straight from being katana to a bageres. So you see that there's a brisa that says exactly like Abaya said pshat. Fine. So that's what Rabbi Yosef agreed with Abaya because it was a fair brisa.
This is where I am. Now what does it mean? Say it over in my name. It's a brisa.
I hear. Right. I mean, Rabbi Yosef was telling you that it's a brisa.
Yeah, I mean, say it over my name because it's a brisa.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear. That's very good. Yeah. Don't know. Fine.
Could it possibly be Mishama instead of Mishmai? I know it's a little crazy.
Now you change. Now you change your orders. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it's the same word.
Right. No, maybe. Don't know. Fine. Zamar Bavo. Simone saris for Ailonis uben shmaina. Simonim, somebody who's a saris or an Ailonis, or a ben shmaina means a baby that was born from an 8-month gestation, meaning she was only pregnant for 8 months, which we said many times that according to the Gemara, at least according to many opinions in the Gemara, an 8-month pregnancy, the baby is going to die. It's not considered a viable baby. 7 months, yes. 9 months, yes. 8 months, no. Right? So you have these simonim. Ein oisen ben maisa achi ben esen. Even though they have these simonim, we don't do a maisa, meaning we don't rely on these things until they turn 20. Right? Meaning until they turn, like we were saying before. That meaning we don't say that they're considered a saris or an Ailonis or an 8 months until 20. Now, this is the way Rashi explains it. There's obviously something very shver with Rashi. How do you say that an 8-month, a kid born from an 8-month pregnancy is not viable and he's 19 years old? Right? Meaning we're saying that you cannot establish that this guy is anything till he's 20. Right? How could that be? Okay, but that's the way. That's the kasha that they have on Rashi. But either way, bottom line is it's not confirmed till the 20. So the Gemara asks, "Ben Shmaina mikachai?" Who says a Ben Shmaina can even live? A Ben Shmaina not supposed to even live that long. What are you talking about till age 20? Vatanya, Ben Shmaina harehu ke'evan. A kid that's from an 8-month pregnancy is like a stone. You're not allowed to move the kid on Shabbos because it's muksa, because it's considered like he's dead, even though he's alive. But the woman is allowed to bend over and nurse the baby, meaning she can't hold the baby to nurse the baby. She could bend over and nurse the baby that way. Why? Because of a sakana. Now, what's the sakana? So Rashi says they're both in sakana. The mother is in a sakana because there's too much milk, and that can cause her to die. Right? And the son, well, I don't understand what the son's sakana is because we're saying the kid is dead anyways. So Rashi's I think in Shabbos doesn't mention anything about the sakana for the kid. He only makes a sakana for the mother. Either way, so the mother's allowed to nurse. Meaning the reason why is because really it's an issa daraisa for a mother to nurse on Shabbos because that's squeezing. You're squeezing the breasts in order to get out the milk. That's squeezing on Shabbos. It's really awesome. We allow it because it goes straight into the kid's mouth and the kid needs it. There's all sorts of shilas about women nowadays that need to use their pumps on Shabbos. Bottom line is when a woman nurses on Shabbos, if she pumps on Shabbos and she puts out the pump on a Shabbos clock, you're supposed to put soap into the bottle so that it ruins it, so it becomes it's not a issa.
This might be a very stupid question. Why don't you say it's shnaim shasu, the mother and the baby are getting the milk out together?
Very good. I hear that kasha. I hear that's interesting kasha. I think what I would say al regalachas to teretz is that shnaim shasu is not mutter. It's necessary in a makam which is I guess why we would be maker with it. But yeah, I hear the horror. Anyway, but to hear,
I was thinking even if it's not shnaim sha'asu, the mefarik is being done by the baby, not the mother.
So sometimes in order to get the baby to eat, you need to squeeze the breast to get the milk out. Otherwise, the baby doesn't eat. So even that, the person is allowed.
Right? That's what this Gemara is talking about. That's pricey.
I don't know if that's what this is talking about, but either way, the point of the Gemara is that the kid is dead. How are you allowed to nurse him? So the answer is no, because of the sakana, because the mother, so therefore we allow her to nurse. Either way, so you see an 8-month-old dies. So what are we talking about, an 8-month-old till the 20? So our answer is, yeah.
I just got, if the kid's like an Evan, why isn't that considered wasting the milk?
Wasting the milk and what?
It's not a malach of the
rice. That's why we're only allowing it for a sakana, because she's in a sakana.
No. Oh, because she's in sakana, therefore she's allowed to do.
Wasting is also not mutter. It's just it's not a deraisa.
Rashi says Rashi doesn't say that the baby's like dead. Rashi says shneim sakana.
Yeah, that's what Rashi is shver. That's what you see the bays over there. The Rashi, what the shneim of sakana is a little bit shver. Yeah. What is it?
The
Bach Bey says it's only because of the sakana's aim. Right? This Rashi is different than he was in Shabbos. In Shabbos, he says it's only the sakana of the mother. Right? The sakana of the kid is already shver, because the kid is considered a stone. Right? How could it be the sakana?
Could it be that the Matthias had already changed by Rashi's days?
I don't know. You think so? Either way, he still has to say pshat.
Absolutely no idea.
He has to say pshat in the Gemara then. Not.
No, because there it's negeya to the pshat in the Mishnah. Here it's negeya to how we learn the halacha.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, but I think the assumption is like Rashi in Shabbos. So Hachamayaskina, the Gemara answer on the top line now. Hachamayaskina kishagamru simonov. We're talking about where he has simonim, where the kid has simonim that look like a regular 9-month child. The Tanya Ezu ben Shmaina, who's the son of a 8-month? How do you know he's 8 months? Kol shaloi kolu lechadashav. If he didn't finish his months, meaning he didn't go the full 9 months. Rebbe says simonim mochichan alav. The simonim show it. Yeah, Saroi v'tziparnov shaloi gamru. His hair and his nails, shaloi gamru, that they're not finished, they're not complete. So Taima, the Gemara says Taima deloi gamru. The reason is because they were not complete, ha gamru. But if the nails grew regular and the hair, amrinan hai bar zayinu. So what are we going to say? That it's really a 7-month gestation, which can live. And he was just hanging out in the mother's womb until the 8th month. But really, it's a 7-month one, and it was done developing in the 7th month, and it was just hanging out. It's very difficult to understand this exactly. So how do you know it stopped developing in the month, and then it hung out in the womb till the 8th month? What are you saying?
No, I don't understand this at all.
Why?
What are the babies hanging out there for a month?
He's learning Yerushalmi. He never got to Yerushalmi with the Malach, so he didn't want to leave.
The Gemara is going to say Vaiten 9 months and hung out till 12 months. I don't understand.
Yeah, okay. So
that's also a Shver Gemara. Yeah, it's a Shver Gemara. It was just hanging out there. Yeah.
Well, the baby's ready to come out, or just I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways.
How do you know it's 7 months?
He's just the reason Rebbe's saying is because since it shows the simanim that it grew, it must, even though it was born in the 8th month. Again, we're talking about how do you know it was the 8th month? So it has to be that it's somewhere where the husband was together with the wife and then went overseas or whatever, they know that they were never together again from there. And 8 months later, she has a baby. Right? Otherwise, you have no idea. If they're together on a regular basis, you have no idea if it's a 7-month, 8th month, 9th month. So
right. I mean, did they keep cheshbon or they didn't?
We're talking about even in a case where they did a cheshbon, where the husband and wife were together, and that's it. They weren't together after that, and they know that it was 8 months from when they were together that she had the baby. Right? Even so, Rebbe's saying, even so, if the baby has the nails that grew, then we're going to assume that it was a 7-month baby and it just didn't come out for another month. It was taking its sweet time to come out. Right? Not as bad as the other baby the 2 weeks ago who hung out, his head hung out outside the cervix for a week, right?
Yeah.
Not as lazy as that baby, but still lazy nonetheless. Either way, so that's Rebbe Shita. So the Gemara asks, Elahada but Rabba Tosfa Uvda. Rabba Tosfa did a Uvda, and he made a big kula, right? The Isha Shahala, there's also wild kula. The Isha Shahala Baila Medina Sayam. Her husband went overseas. He was gone for 12 months, right? And then she had a baby 12 months after he left. So, I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that this lady was probably Mazana, right? Her husband went away 12 months ago, and then she had a baby. She had a baby 12 months after he left. So clearly she was Mazana 3 months in, right? But he said no. Rabbi Tosfos said no. He said the baby is kosher, not a mamzer. Why?
Is this
correct? 1 second.
Is this because?
It's like Rebbe. 1 second. Rebbe, let me just finish one. Rebbe Kedamar Mishtar. It's like Rebbe who said that the baby was ready to come out after 9 months, and it stayed in there for 12 months. So the kasha is, why is he passing like Rebbe? Rebbe is a das yochid. It was the Rabbanon said we don't say this, that the baby hangs out. But Rebbe is a das yochid. So I answered no. Kivan dikar of Shimon Gamliel, since there was the Shimon Gamliel's opinion. The Amar Mishtoi Karabim, Karabim of it. So therefore, since Reb Shimon Gamliel also says that there's this concept of the fetus being complete and then not coming out, the Tanya of Shimon Gamliel Omer, Kol Shashal Lamed Yoim Adam Einoi Nefel. Anything that lasts 30 days is not a nefel. It's not considered a nefel. What is it? 7 months, 8 months, and we say that the baby was completed and then just hung out there. Yes, it means it's not just Rebbe against Rabban, it's Rebbe and Shimon Gamliel, so that's enough for Rabbi Tosfa to paskin like that. Now, to jump to 3 months from 1 month is a little bit of a stretch, but that's what he felt in order to be mater a mamza. It's a pretty wild kula. Yeah, what do you want to say?
Could part of this be because back then it was Nikr Ubra after Gimel Chadash? So she had a Nikr Ubra for 9 months, this woman.
Okay, I hear, maybe. Okay, you say, all right. And what do you mean? So that's one more shver.
Well, I mean, you could
But
physically
what's
see
the
back then.
mitzvah to be mater mamzerim? Like, what are we trying to do? If the person's a mamzer, is a mamzer. What are we trying? You try to make more mamzerim and klal yisrael. So brand them a mamzer and zehu.
You're 100% right, because you don't want to make mamzer and klal yisrael, but the problem is that this kid is never going to be able to marry anybody.
No, and a chanami. So you'd rather him be an undercover mamzer?
Well, he's not undercover. Once Rabbi Tosfot passed him on, and that's it. He's not a mamzer. The question is, would anybody date this guy?
Lamaisa, if he is a mamzer, bottom line is she was Mazana, he's a mamzer, so you're being mater him. I understand you're being mater him, but Lamaisa, he's a mamzer. It was nus.
Right. You're right, Kurt. I don't know. I mean, is anybody going to marry this kid?
Isn't there a problem from the other side also? There's no aid. How do you say he's a mamzer?
Robert, I have the same time as you had last night. I'm just
some multimillionaire started an organization. He wanted to do this, so they,
I thought maybe it was a new Boys Club called the Mamzerin.
Very good. Yeah.
They only sing a cappella.
Well, that's the Litvischer version.
They only sing a cappella.
It's interesting because I don't know. I think there were problems. The girl that Ramesha mastered with the artificial insemination, I don't think it was easy for her to get a shidduch. I don't know why I have that in my head. Right? Because nobody wanted to.
Tiago, that's going to be the new thing on the resumes. They're going to say, like, this baby was born 7 months or 9 months. Is Nishta 8-monther.
Right. And the truth is, you can really remember with yesterday's daf or 2 days ago's daf that we said that any mamzer is going to die anyways. So you could bring a raya. Why don't we just wait and see if the kid dies? Right? Meaning Rabbi Tosfot would end up being proven or disproven if the kid stays alive. Right? Okay.
That was like,
Mr. Yaakov, your brother knows a lot of people in business who obviously haven't died yet.
Farrah, I think I sent, that was one of the videos I sent you from Rav Avadia's son, that he gave a heter for that, right? And then he told the Rav that asked him the shadow that he had to agree to be Masader Kedushin before he gave him a heter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You got to find him a shidduch. That's a different story, right? Anyways, okay. So
I don't know if you remember. There was one of those old Reb David Cohen shiurim. He said that that he had a misa with this, and the Beis Din sent the guy to like a college campus to go find the girl that he was then like paida into Avdus. You don't remember this whole?
No.
I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
Don't work too hard. It's fine.
Okay.
Fine. So let's see. So Torah Rabbanan. Yeah. Now get out your biology books. Yeah. Ezu saris chama. What is a saris chama? That's the one that's from birth. Kol shu ben esrim, 20 years old. Lo hevi shtei saris, didn't bring 2 hairs. Vafilu hevi la'achar mikan. And even if he grew the 2 hairs after, like we said on Amud Aleph, that's too late. Once he gets 20 or 18, according to the other opinions, it's too late. The hair is nothing. Harehu kasaris l'chol dvarav. That's a saris for everything. Ve'elu ein simanov. And what are the simanim of a saris? Kol she'ein lo zaken. He doesn't have a beard. Usayroi lakui, and his hair is soft. Upsarei machlik, and his skin is soft. Right? When his water, meaning when he urinates, it doesn't bubble. Right? It doesn't make. I don't know exactly what this means, but urine. I guess it makes like when it hits the ground, it hits the toilet like bubbles. So if his doesn't, then it's a problem. Like we said on Amud Aleph, if he's urinating and it doesn't make like an arch. His shichva zera is doicha. Rashi means it's very thin shichva zera. The urine doesn't sour, meaning doesn't smell after a long time. If he takes a shower in the rainy season, and I guess he's taking a hot shower, so his skin is supposed to smoke, right? But his doesn't. If his voice is very luckily, like we said before, is like there's something wrong with his voice. It's thin, and you can't tell. He has a high-pitched voice. You can't tell whether it's a man or a woman. The Ailonis. So that's a saris. What's an Ailonis? Kol she bas esrim. She's 20 years old. She doesn't have beis saris. Even if she grows beis saris afterwards, she's an Ailonis for everything. And these are the simon of an Ailonis. Kol she'en lo dadim. She doesn't have breasts. Umiskasha b'shat tashmish. She has a very hard time with intercourse. Right? But Rashi says it's difficult for her. Shimon Gamliel kol she'en la shifule me'ayim kenoshim. She does not have a. So Rashi says that something. It's like a spoon from above Isem Makam that sticks out a little bit. Shimon Eliezer kol she'koila ova. She has a thick voice like a man. And we can't tell whether she's a man or a woman. So those are all the simanim. Fine. So Itmar simani saris. So the Gemara has a Machlokes. Simanim of saris. If who namar achi kulam, you need to have all the simanim. Even you only have one siman, right? Meaning there was a whole list of simanim. You need all or only one. So heichadav ishtei saris b'zakan, where he has two hairs in his beard. Kuli amaloi pligid achi kulam. Since he has some hair, so then he needs to have all of the above requirements in order to be a saris. It's where he doesn't have any hair. Right? Fine. So the Gemara asks, I knew baby Rav Nachman. Go look at Rav Nachman, who Rav Nachman did not grow hair. and go be ma'ayin and him. Ibasari ma'ila hevel, meaning see him in the bathhouse. Ibasari ma'ila hevel, eisuvle bras. If his skin smokes, then I'm gonna marry my daughter off to him, right? I guess Rav Nachman must have been a good shidduch, right? So he said, go check him out. If he has that simon, so then it's gonna be I'll marry off. So you see, he only went with one simon. So Kiman ka Rav Huna, he must be going like Rav Huna, right? Because he only asked for one simon. He didn't ask for all the other simonim. So we say no. Rav Nachman sichi dikna havile. This is mamash a sfira Gemara, right? He had a beard that was like Rashi says, like little nails, right? Meaning he had blotchy hair on his chin. Some guys, you see them by sfira, you see taka, that's why they shave, right? So he was one of those types that he couldn't grow a proper beard. But he did have hair on his face. So since he had hair on his face, all we needed is one other simon to tell you that it's that would be enough to say that he's not a saris. Yeah, fine. Yeah. So then, should we go to the Mishnah? Tomorrow's daf is very short. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. What time is it? 9:40. Let's do a few more. Yeah.
Do we rely on Eidus Ishif somehow for this? I mean, the simon of Ailonis is culturally heavier saris. Presumably, the rabbis on the look.
We were going to go to the Mish, but now that he asked questions, we're definitely not going to the Mish.
I don't know. It's taka. Who's what do you call it?
I would imagine women are doing it. This is mamish. This is Eidus Isha for everything. For Kalatay Rakula.
Right. And Hanami. So I mean, I don't remember what the post can say, but they discuss exactly how you prove that. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So let's see a few more lines. So Hasaris right? A saris can't do chalitza, depending on which saris. According to Rabbi Kiva, it's a saris that had an accident, and according to Rabbi Eliezer, it's a saris from the other way. Rabbi Kiva holds that it's a saris from birth, can't do it, and Rabbi Eliezer holds a saris that had an accident, can't do it. It's a Ailonis. So Katani saris to Ailonis, we learned that a saris is similar to Ailonis. My Ailonis b'dei shemayim, just like an island this happens b'dei shemayim, I've saris b'dei shemayim. The stomach Rabbi Kiva, and the stom goes like Rabbi Kiva, the Amar b'dei Adam in b'dei shemayim like that we go b'dei Adam and not b'dei shemayim. Yeah. Okay, so we'll stop over here because it's a very short daf tomorrow. So fine, it's a little late. All right. Thank you for tolerating me with all my service issues.
What time tomorrow?
It's 5:40. 5:40 mostly tomorrow. All right, have a good night.
Chicago, have a good night.
All right, everybody. Tigers.